Hello again, folks, and welcome back to Let's Play Pillars of Eternity. I'm your Game Master Darius. I decided to have a quick little rest to try to pass a little bit of time and get some of my spells and shit back when Kana decides to be all talkative. Been a while. You know, there are accounts of watchers in all regions I've visited. If the adventuring life doesn't work out for you, you could always read souls for coin, give people advice, tell them which family they're related to and whom they should duel for past offensives. I'm glad you find this so amusing. Sorry, it seems I'm not very good at raising spirits. That was unintentional. I mean, it was amusing, I'm just saying. Hello, Aloth.
Your thoughts must flow deeply indeed.
Can I just talk to a person in my party? Or do they have to be...
Your mind comes bearing questions, Watcher.
Okay, I want to make sure of something first. I really haven't done much talking to the party members. I really hope I hadn't skipped over anything in particular. Just me as Watcher when we met. Do you know what a Watcher is? Slow, chill, and for a moment it seems as if she's going to fade from your vision, as if she can't bear to be seen.
The title came unbidden. I do not know why I spoke of it. Yet it seemed the right mantle, a familiar one.
I do not know where it came. If I have given offense, oddly enough, it feels like she's not speaking to you. It feels like she's speaking to an audience. The air takes on a curious edge, a chill which persists for a sharp moment, then fades into a dull fear. If I've given offense, forgive me. Forgive me. You would know more than I. Have you encountered Watchers before? I do not know. It is an old feeling. I do not know where it stems from. It was a word that arose when you saw me. You said Watchers see much that others do not, and I have been hidden from the eyes of others for some time. How is it no one can see you?
Their eyes see me, but their minds will not remember past the call.
What now?
My face is like the call of a newborn, hiding the face beneath. And for my body, I am able to wrap myself as a mother cradling her child. I am here, as you see me. But to them, their eyes see only the cloak that I wear, a peasant mother, dirty, shabby, not worth knowing. As a Watcher, you see more than others. To the eyes of most, I am as unseen as the spirits you share memories with.
How are you able to affect minds? I divert the flow of their senses down a different path, to a place easily forgotten, not unwelcome when one does not desire the presence of others. The surface of their minds register a figure, but the memory slips away. They see a woman, but there is no desire for conversation, no desire for any questions, and I have none to ask. When we first met, how was I able to enter your dream?
I do not know. What do you speak of? If you were in my thoughts, I could not feel your presence, nor do I know what you saw there.
Well, as she speaks, you suddenly feel an odd sensation in your mind, as if talking in her thoughts would have been as if walking down a back street of merchant stalls. The claustrophobia of wooden shelves and canvas tarps made less oppressive by the sheer number of enticing vials and bottles that stretch out to the sides of you. Suddenly realize that whether she permits it or not, you could enter her dream and observe it without her even knowing. And in response, your hand twitches. There's a feeling that you could simply pick up a vial, taste it, sample it, and keep the memory as your own. And suddenly you find yourself back in your present thoughts. Though you were away for but a moment, she seems unaware of your diversion of thought. It may be one of your gifts, an ability to walk in memories as easily as someone walks upon the ground. May I try again? Feel her slowly nod, though she makes no motion. My mind is open to you, as it was before when we had met. I could not stop you if I wished. As long as don't mind... Oh wait. Nah, this one. I do not want to oppose, I seek her permission. My memory is not as it was, much has been forgotten. If you would walk in my thoughts, I have nothing hidden. Her thoughts feel strangely apologetic and welcoming both at once. Perhaps you may learn something that will strengthen you, or a clue to what has caused this terrible burning of the fields of souls and halted Barath's wheel. Your mind gives way, your passage almost unnoticed as you enter her as before, circling the memory you shared when you first met. And suddenly you are calm. You're on a plateau, almost the height of the tower, several stories high. The plateau is like a table lying beneath the clear sky, and beneath the plateau, surrounding it in all directions, a forest hazy with mist. Although whether it is actual mist or distance or recollection. Resting in the curve of a natural arc above you is a great copper bell, half again the size of a man, hanging at attention as if looking down on you in the event unfolding before you. The plateau is soaked in the sun, and the rock beneath you is rough and warm. The sky forms a cradle around you. You feel different, not disembodied, but you feel your body. Your physical contours have changed along with the surroundings. And you hear a series of chimes, like wind chimes. At the sound, the scene gains color and texture, as if the sound is beckoning you forth gently, filling your senses and thoughts like mist roiling softly into a sealed chamber, and the chime coaxes you deeper into the memory, and you're certain it is a memory, a warm one. You're on the stone of the plateau, your knees on the warm texture of the ground, silver, white, shimmering, like Ardra? The plateau is formed of it, glistening in the sun. You can feel the heat on your skin, your wrists, and your hands. Your hands are in motion, weaving, not thread, but gathering, tenderly moving along the first movements of Barath's wheel. Your hands are wet, your hands are upon the flesh of a newborn child, and you can feel the crowning of a tiny head turning in your grasp, its head slick, wet from the womb. The hands you are wearing, inhabiting, has done this many times, and they have been practiced and confident. You can feel distant pains in your own head as a woman emerges. As the head emerges, a stream of fluid from the womb helping the newborn slide forth, and a woman's labored breath crying out. On the kid. As your hands move, you hear the sound of chimes clear cutting through the haze of memory. You cannot see where they are coming from, but they are close. They are meant as a comfort of that you are certain. And coaxed by your hands, every movement caused the chimes to sound again, almost eagerly. The child comes forth, and as it does, your hands are in motion, weaving, moving along the length of a soft, wet rope, no, an umbilical cord from the legs of the naked woman before you. You are holding a small child, still wet from the womb before you. The child cries out, its cry full of life, full of soul, the ringing of chimes echoing in its thoughts, filling it with its welcome. Soul is blurred at the edges, as if you are viewing a soul from within a soul. But it is there, it is alive. The woman before you is weeping, and at her first cry, her hands reach for it. You surrender the child to her, something you have done many times before, and as your hands move, the chimes echo the movement, and you realize the chimes are hanging from the cords on your wrists. Where once they echoed in the memory, they are now echoing in the child's mind as well. Chimes are intended to welcome the child, to be its first gentle greeting into the world, a soothing sound guided by the tender motions of the wrists. You are helping to weave its thoughts, perceptions, and the experience. The woman laughs with a ragged joy, laughing from a parched throat. Her emotions seem soothed, but the physical demands of the labor have left her exhausted. But the child is there. The child is safe, and all atop the plateau is peaceful, calm, distant, flattening out as the memory persists. With effort, the scene bleeds of color, and your mind becomes your own again. Grieving Mother stands silently before you. She seems unaware of what you've seen, or that you entered her memories at all. I walked again in your dreams, thoughts, and I believe your memories. A mixture of curiosity and fear wells up between you. She raises her left hand, the chiming as her wrists quelling the rise within her. She is frightened, but curiosity anchors her.
What did you see in my memories? I would hear you speak of them.
The dream, the memory I saw upon meeting you, it was you helping give birth to a child. There is a silence, and as your breath falls still, you hear the faint cry of a child in the distance, a newborn child, almost exactly like what you heard in the dream. As you listen, the grieving mother raises both her hands as if weaving, her wrists chiming as she does so. In a semblance of a gentle turning, she provided while the newborn was crowning. To your surprise, you recognize the motions and the words from the memory, even as they are new to you. As she weaves her hands through the air in front of her, child's cries grow still, yet the sound of the chimes weave almost hypnotically into your thoughts. The sky seems sharp and clear, and you feel as if you are towering over your surroundings, as if kneeling atop a great pillar just as she did in the memory. To your surprise, the grieving mother falls as if her strings were cut, and her knees crack hard against the ground. Her hands never cease moving in the air, chimes echoing her movements. In a ragged voice you hear her speak. Voice is that of a much older woman than the one before you, harsh, almost desperate.
Tell me what you saw. Show me what you saw. Where were you?
Her eyes, now terribly sharp and real, are filmed with white, silver white, like Adra. Not a cipher. A mountain ledge, I think? It was high up. No, I think? She leans back as if looking back at the sky, but her eyes are closed, the film building on them. The slow intake of breath, you feel time become quiet around you. I do not feel the memory. I do not know if it is mine, but her hair falls across her features again like a veil, and she nods, not with her chin, but a push of her mind. But thank you for trying. I think I done screwed that up. Yeah, I think I screwed that up. Killer, memory,
Tell
voice.
me what you saw. Show me what you saw. Where were you?
Okay. I think what I need is I need to be a cipher to continue this. Huge forest stretching out beneath a great rock. Firstly, even fainter with the distance between you.
Stone of the plateau. Its color. Tell me its color.
Oh, or maybe I gotta just choose the right freaking answer. Silver Adra, surface warmed by the sun. Her hands rise before her. She clasps them, then cups them, as if feeling them for the first time. She stares down into the cradle of her hands, and the chimes sound once, twice, as they swing with emotions.
And what did these hands hold?
And the mother was holding the child. There was a child you were bringing forth in her hands. I don't recall. Sudden intake of breath and then a release. Her eyes blur closed, forming into slits. And the brief glimpse you have of her changing expression, the rippling pain in her features seem to have smoothed. She swallows once, twice, then you feel her once again in your thoughts, the rasping husk of her voice swallowed and drawn within her.
It was the birthing bell you saw. Has it been so long? Have I forgotten so much?
There is surprise, followed by a rising horror swirling within her words. With the words comes a river of impulses, thoughts as if loosed from a breaking dam, and as your mind wraps the impulses into words, you realize that it was her muscles and her hardened thoughts relaxing and breathing again. There is such an intensity you almost want to step back from the flow, but you find the wave of impulses cause questions to float to the surface. Along them was a name, Watcher. What is the birthing bell?
It is a plateau formed of the spirit stone Audra. At its top is set a great bell, cradled in the reaching arm of the plateau. It stirs in the wind, and it sounds for leagues when struck by kith hands. In distant times, the great bell served as a Glanfathan watchtower, perhaps. Why they abandoned it, I do not know. Other men came in time, settlers, and claimed the tower as their own. I, in turn, claimed it from them. The pillar became a cradle where I could draw new souls into the world.
Where is the bell located? The birthing bell lies deep in the great forests of the Direwood at the borders of Glanfathan's lands surrounding it. Barely a town, not one you would find on any map, but it held an importance for those there, even if we were far from the beaten track. Small families, tied like a knot, joined at the wrists in mind and thought, All were welcomed, all had purpose. In your memory, were you helping a woman give birth?
Yes. Yet, I believe you only saw a small part of the birthing ritual. It is not all in a moment, nor in a day. It is a journey of many years between the child, the mother, and I.
There was much I could do to aid the mother. Some sought the physical comforts of ritual to steady their thoughts, even Adra from the bell. Others would seek advice, words of counsel for the days ahead. I was able to provide drafts, tinctures, and a reading of the child's spirit, all to strengthen the mother. Can you tell me about the birthing ritual?
The ritual was one of many steps. It took many tens of years to carve them, but always the child's thoughts were there to guide me. From the moment it began to awaken, to the 3 seasons within the mother, to the birthing day, and the years to follow. The child's thoughts, that is where it began. The expectant mother, I could often sense her thoughts, and those of her child, before she could. I would soothe her, free her from the panic of questions. I would sound the memory of the birthing bell atop the plateau in her mind, letting the memory of the vibrations fill my thoughts and hers. Often, the child's soul could hear it too, so the sound of the bell echoed in the mother's thoughts.
So you sensed your mother's thoughts? Sharing memories and thoughts can bond lives together, as can hardships, most of all the sharing of what is familiar. The bell itself provided shelter for such thoughts, opportunities to see deep into the crevice, hollows in the rock where one would find shelter, clefts where you could feel the Adra all around you. As she speaks, you feel your legs bent, crossed, and the warmth of walls around you, and blankets woven thick beneath you. Such shared images can bond souls even tighter and allow them to draw strength from each other. You mentioned the ritual lasting years. What would happen after the birth? Once the pain is channeled away and the mother and child breathe again, I sound the birthing bells on my wrists and allow the mother to hear the child's thoughts, the ringing echoing in each other's thoughts. Bells open the way between them, letting her feelings pass into the newborn and let her feel the child in return. And when the feelings meet, that is when I weave another memory and leave it tied in their minds. Do these bells play an important role in the birthing process? Yes, and for years after, I gave a set to the child after delivery, a reminder of the memory of mother and child shared. Feel an odd sensation, a warmth, and you can feel a smile being shared. Then it flickers, and it is gone. As the bell coaxed the child forth, so they accompanied the child onwards, fastened around about the wrists to care for him in mind and body. There was no magic in it, except the magic of practicality. The child sought to leave their cradles or escape their cribs. The mother could know through the warning of the chimes alone. At times, if the bond was strong, so would I. The sensation of a smile comes again, slower, more knowing between you. Now watch, children, much trouble may be had from tiny hands. The chimes are kept until the child needs them no longer. When I no longer can hear them sounding in my mind, I know their spirit has changed, and the bonds we shared are long gone. This shedding may last many years, or but a few, but it is necessary. Watched over these children for years after their births? Children are fragile things. Even the ties of blood and mind may not be enough. They must be watched, and even then the body may fail the mind. But if watched, even the most sickly child may cling to life if determined enough, and many of their souls were tied to me. If a child's spirit failed, I could sound the chimes in their mind and grant them strength, even from afar. It did not always serve, but it gave hope. Sounds like you've seen tragedy too. Enough to never wish to feel it again. In the times before the bell, children who died cast upon the waters of the lake beyond the bell, sometimes while alive if their paths and futures were deemed weak. It was a different time. Children were treated carelessly. Those times are the past. Damn. I have other questions about the bell. Ask what you will, I will provide what answers I can. Why would you give a telling of a child's spirit?
Many would come seeking their child's future, or a reading into the child's past, the lives its soul is said to have lived.
There is a chill, and for a moment it seems as if she was going to fade from your vision, as if she can't bear to be seen, like a fear or alarm.
Such things are not mine to see. I meant no offense.
Stop. You're frightened. Something about watchers? As the thought of watchers crosses your mind, you feel a sharp pain, stabbing, the sudden burn of lashes across your back and shoulders. And when it is gone, you feel the grieving mother before you, silent, almost fearful, wary.
I was something else, but because the title Watcher was cast on me, the word carried a weight I had neither earned nor deserved. The world seems filled with such titles. They distract, I think, from the actions of the person, from their strengths.
But if they came to you to read their child's souls, what did you tell them?
I drew upon the present. I felt the soul of the mother before me, and used that to tell the child's path, to give it a voice. Only the thoughts of the mother and the emotions that lie beneath were mine to impart. I did, and so I used that as the telling of their child's future.
And if the mother's emotions were painful, hurtful?
One must guard oneself when drawing upon the thoughts of another. The pain of a mother's rage and disdain. It can be a powerful poison.
So you shaped their thoughts, made the readings true.
This is my calling, to show them the life I see before them, and even greater, make them believe it.
This is not what a watcher does. Don't shape minds, we see them as they are.
Even the most strongly worded tells may not be enough to save a child and allow it to be born. If I have the strength to strip away the stem of a mother's spite to expose kindness, weave nurturing from disdain and neglect, then that is my calling. And with the weight of watcher behind my thoughts, these tells gain strength. Strength I never possessed on my own. They believed. And what they believed became the truth. With each child that was set upon that path, the title of Watcher became stronger. You must understand, without such weight upon my words, many lives would have been lost, drowned, cast in the lake beyond the bell. Now the trail to the lake is lost and reclaimed by the forest, as was meant. A Watcher was not there to look over us, but it was a Watcher that saved them, and with a Watcher's strength, children were born, were cared for, and grew strong.
Does seem like your readings were necessary.
What use is a frightened will when a spirit is at stake? Would you let the fears of a mother end her newborn's life? You felt it in the memory, the weight of it, the importance of the child's life. It was a memory we shared.
That memory, it's not the truth, is it? And suddenly there is a rasping cry across your consciousness. She raises her hands and you see the chimes draped from them, yet make no sound as she moves.
A greater good was done, and children were saved. It is a choice you may be forced to make one day, and when faced with it, you will make the same one.
Oh. That's a hard one. That's a hard one because I very much like to imagine there is good in all people. There's always moments of weakness, though. And this is a rough point. Because if there's one thing that Talos does believe, it's one's personal freedoms. Used to exercise that kind of control over others, even for a greater will.
This choice is not yours to make, Watcher. You will do as the world needs, as its children need. It is greater than you and your twist of sight.
I mean, I'd argue that your twist of sight is a little different too, but Percival.
And I you. In asking, we reveal ourselves to each other.
Why are you called the Grieving Mother? Air seems to go still for a moment, and time stretches as it did before when the two of you first meet. There was a wash of uncertainty from her mind, slowly shaping into questions that swirl and do not coalesce. She does not move. She seems paralyzed, as if you just wrapped her in a cold blanket.
That is a question for you, not I. That is not my name, although if you wish to hang the title on me, I cannot stop you. Is that what you see when your eyes fall upon me?
So, I named you. As a watcher, you may see what I do not, or your mind shapes the thoughts I project into a new meaning. There is truth in that title, but it is not all I am. So, what do you grieve then? You must have felt it, seen it. It has as many names as the pain it has caused. As words take shape, they seem to tumble out from her, and the wave is great, rushing into your mind. To your surprise, you feel as if you've been touched by the bivouac again. And behind it, cutting through the torrent like a knife, are the thoughts of the Grieving Mother. There is a wound cut across the belly of the world, a jagged knife that has stripped the stems from men and carved furrows across the wombs of women. There is much I have forgotten, but I can still feel the wound all around me. It will not let me rest, not let me be. The children have gone silent, yet their voices may be heard again. Speaking of the Hollowborn. A word. There's a slowness of her thoughts, as if the word is being waited, accepted. It doesn't feel natural to her, you can sense it. It was once unknown to me, as was much of what unfolded in the outside world. The curse came upon us. I thought it was a smaller thing, a thing of communities and hearths. Thoughts seemed to stumble as if on weak legs. It was only when I walked did I feel it stretching out around me in the cracks of the world. Children have been cursed. I do not think it was something they caused, nor something deserved. That which is inside them has been torn away. I do not know how, but this wound must be stitched closed. The world bleeds forth from between a woman's legs. If this blood is not stemmed, the world will die and grow quiet. You know its cause? There is a desperation, a welling fear. You can almost feel her thoughts shivering. You realize she is as lost as you are on the matter. In a sudden, sharp clarity, I shall know it through you. Your eyes will track the cause, find the path, and I will be beside you. There's no wound that cannot be healed, and if you are truly a watcher, this wound may be seen for what it is. You saw me where I hid. Whoever's hands have stilled the world, you shall see them too. If there's no way to heal it, what then? I will be there, and you will do what must be done. You were given your sight so that you may watch the world. You will tend it. Children shall have their voice again. If your will is weak, I shall strengthen it. Lean upon me. Feel a weight in her words, as if her hands are on your shoulders. Feel the questions in your mind lose their edge and become merely words. As I lean upon you, you shall be my eyes, as I shall be your hands when the time comes. I feel like this is a silly question. After all of that, what do you think of the Direwood in the Empire? Those tiles are markings on the map and channel people's minds in violent directions. Such things are a threadbare blanket cast upon the world where men and women seek more importance than simply being. Well, how do you see the world then? The world is a field of souls, tilled by Bareth's wheel. The thoughts of cultures and territories do not concern me. Sowing and harvest of the field does. Bareth's wheel has slowed, perhaps stopped altogether. Whatever words, titles, laws, and blades not devoted to carving away the harm or healing that wound holds little importance to me. My first encounter of the Grieving Mother on the road, experienced a dream. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I do very much believe that everyone has a chance at life. And I do believe that everyone does deserve that chance. Does seem really twisty-turny, though, when it comes to the way that she was doing things. But hey, what other way was she going to have to save those kids, right? Oh god, that was a full freaking 30 minutes of nothing but talking to the Grieving Mother when I mean to just a quick thing. I'm gonna go ahead and call an episode here. Man, they're talky. When we return, shall I see who else needs to have a little case of chatting? Bunch of chatting Cathys in my goddamn party? Probably. I really want to do these things though. And yes, I'm starting the hedge mage. Thank you everyone so very much for watching. I hope you're all enjoying the series as much as I'm enjoying playing it. And as always, I hope to see you all in the next video. Take care. Cheers.